welcome to the Metals Investment Forum. I'm here with Guanajuato Silver. Welcome, JJ.
Thanks, Jen.
Well, you have been rock and roll. Your production is going like crazy. I mean, maybe you tell us where you're heading now. I mean, it's very hard. Last time I was there, now after a year passed, I think your production almost doubled since.
You know, when the chairman and CEO of this company, James Anderson, a friend of yours, he came to me maybe just about 2 years ago and said, look, this is what we're going to do. We're going to go into central Mexico, into this particular district called the Guanajuato Mining District, which they've been mining there for almost 500 years. He says, we're going to consolidate this district, which means we're going to acquire a number of operations. So when you were down there, I believe we just had the first mine, which was the El Cubo mine, which we had brought back into production. That mine, we told everyone we would be mining by the end of 2021. We bought it in April of 2021. Within 6 months, we were mining. Within 9 months, we had sold our first precious metal concentrate. Things are going very, very well there today. We essentially, really at El Cubo, we have two mines. The Santa Cecilia mine to the north, the Villa Panda to the south. We're mining them both right now. But since that time, again, the plan all along has been to consolidate this district. We were very fortunate to acquire the former mining assets of Great Panther Mining. So I'll tell you, in the early 2000s, I remember going to a presentation by Great Panther, and I sat there in awe. I said, wow, how do these guys have all of these mines producing all of this silver? How do you ever get to that position? Well, here we are today. Fast forward 20 years later, we acquired all of their operating mines in Mexico. We got it, and key to these transactions is we've been very fortunate at getting them at very good value in terms of price. Great Panther is a good example. Great Panther, we purchased all of these assets for less than $15 million. And I think most people are probably aware that not more than 90 days after selling us these assets, Great Panther went bankrupt. So again, timing has played very well into the success we've had to date.
Oh, excellent. Tell us why Great Panther's mine was closed.
So they had 3 mines in Mexico. 2 of them, the Valenciana mine and the San Ignacio mine, they had closed down solely because they had run out of tailing space. So, and we had told them that, I'm not kidding, it must have been at least a year in advance. They felt they were going to be able to get an adjustment with the government that would allow them to expand the tailings facility. They were unsuccessful. We are able to process tailings not just at El Cubo, our nearby facility, but we're also able to process tailings at Valenciana today. Plus, we are looking to move to dry stack. So for 2023, we've budgeted $6.2 million to transition to dry stack tailings. It's a much better way to, and a much more environmentally friendly way to deal with tailings. That will give us projected about 15 more years of mine life in terms of processing of tailings. So that will really take that question mark off of the board for Guanajuato Silver.
Okay, great. For beginner like us, tell us the dry stack means.
You're a beginner.
Just pretend.
So today at Guanajuato, as per most mines, they use what's a wet slurry. So you can come to our facility and you can see that the waste rock is actually made into a wet paste slurry that is pumped up to our tailings facility at El Cubo. We have a number of tailing facilities at El Cubo. I want to make sure I mention one of them in particular before we're done. This process uses essentially sucks all of the moisture out of the waste rock, and then we truck it, deposit it at the tailings facility. And because of that, it's just much more environmentally friendly. It doesn't create these tailings facilities, which on occasion will break and they can flood and they can cause during big storms, you can have all kinds of trouble with the tailings facility. So, and with dry stack, it allows for a much better remediation of the actual tailings facility. So you can reach a point where you would have difficulty knowing there was even a tailings facility there after time.
Well, excellent. So basically you solved the problem, Great Panther, that was not able to.
Yeah, well, the Great Panther's problem may or may not have been really the tailings capacity issue. What happened with Great Panther was, and this happens a lot within the junior mining space, as I said, 20 years ago, I was in awe of this company. Wow, they're doing fantastic in Mexico. They're just, all these mines, how could I ever work for a company that could do this kind of work? But what happened was, Along the way, they got distracted and they got focused on their Brazilian assets.
Gold, yes.
And those assets, I'm sure they were very good, but ultimately it killed the company. They had a major issue there. They have major fine hanging over top of them, and that is what really led to bankruptcy. And that actually also is one of the reasons why there's a lot of opportunity for the assets that we now control that were former Great Panther mining assets. So I'll give you a good example. So the Topia mine, which is in northwestern Durango, which you could argue this was the best mine that they had. But when we went and visited them during due diligence, they had not seen a single person from Great Panther in 3 years.
Whoa.
So that again tells you that their focus was not on the Mexican assets. And because of that, when you lose focus on these assets, things were left, they were neglected. We're going to be putting, I believe it's $3.2 million of CapEx into Topia. We're going to expand the mine considerably. We're going to look at other opportunities. So Topia actually is surrounded by a number of other mines. Some of them are private and some of them are smaller. Most of them are processing their material much further afield. So we see opportunities to use Topia as what we call a hub and spoke strategy, whereby we can process ore either through ore sharing or profit sharing or toll milling or even out and out acquisition. So we see a lot of opportunity in Topia, again, because it's very high grade. We're seeing kilo material up there. You do not have to be a geologist in any way to see the vein. You walk underground. I mean, in fact, the vein is so rich, when we're done blasting, we just hand sort it. So you literally just pick it off the ground, put it in the cart, and take it up for processing.
Okay, and I can go sort it.
Well, really, this whole reason why we've been coming to the MIF conference is we were hoping that we could get you as our next employee.
Right, that's a great idea. So tell us, where are you now? What's your production for this and next year? And then what's, with all this hub and spoke, where are you going in the next few years?
Yeah, so for 2022, we exceeded our projected run rate. It was well over 3 million silver equivalent ounces for the year. Every quarter, we have increased production. So quarter over quarter increases in terms of production. We were well over 800,000 silver equivalent ounces for the last reporting quarter. I think you can expect to see that will continue through 2023. The goal for 2023 is somewhere just south of 5 million silver equivalent ounces. And I should point out for the viewers that there's a lot of silver companies or precious metal companies that masquerade as precious metal companies, but really they're base metal producers. Most of the value here is silver and gold. So it's about 55% silver, 45% gold, and then 10% for lead and zinc. And lead and zinc is only at the Topia project, and that's why it's so high. So that's the focus for 2023. Again, at the same time, driving operating costs down is key. Where we're going to be in 2024, I don't know at this point, because the goal of this company is to grow through acquisition, and we keep saying that. And there's a lot of opportunity, particularly in the Guanajuato mining camp. We've got the right people. James Anderson, he is our chairman and CEO. He's a capital market specialist. He's a deal maker. And he's proven that he can make these things happen because we've done 2 massive transactions to date. We believe that we're probably halfway done. We'd like to get to about 10 million silver equivalent ounces. That would be the goal. And beyond that, I know that that's where we're headed.
Okay, great. That's why I think you guys are second majestic.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Okay, great. Thank you, JJ.
Thanks, Chen.
Glad to talk. So glad to talk to you, and hope to see more success.
Always a pleasure. Thanks.